Jay and Amelia were one and the same, in love. Every day they would spend every waking second together, both of them never leaving the other side. No matter what was going on in either of their lives, they knew they could go to the other without fail and feel much better within seconds by merely being in their presence. They were like bread and butter. That is, until one day, a great misfortune would be bestowed upon them. Their lives were not the same after. At least, one of theirs wasn't. This one day, it was a Friday. At first, like every other day up to then, everything seemed normal. The two continued to grace each other with their own presence, simply talking the day away without a break in the conversation. Like the pendulum of a clock, never stopping for anything. It was about halfway through the day where things took a turn for the worse though. A group of individuals had approached them, shady looking ones with clear intent. Jay and Amelia were reviled by this group for being so lovey, so inseparable. To their dark, twisted minds, it was revolting. The concept of what love wasn't a thing they could comprehend. So all they knew was to ruin what others had that they didn't. These were outcasts of society, not meant for love. Everything they did was fueled by jealousy, a powerful emotion that overlooks any sense of mind. Upon approaching Jay and Amelia, the group of individuals delivered harsh words, ridiculing their love for being prevalent and tropish. To Jay and Amelia, though, this is what love was. Love is often tropish, prevalent, but love is love. There were no two ways about it. But this wasn't something this group of individuals could accept or even tolerate. So in an act of pure, unbridled malice, they proceeded to beat down Jay, in full view of Amelia, all ganging up on him to inflict the most damage possible, and by the end of the beating, they had done just that, caused the most damage possible, to Amelia. Upon finishing their vile beating of Jay, the group walked off, laughing as if what they had done was just a simple joke to them, treating it like it was an innocent April Fool's prank, but it wasn't. What they had done far surpassed the point of what makes a joke a joke. Jay was left beaten, victimized, within an inch of his life. Amelia desperately did everything she could to help Jay, despite being in a frenzy, unable to control herself. She called for an ambulance as quick as she could, but the call was too late. By the time she got off the phone, she noticed Jay was unmoving, not even the slightest. She also noticed that his eyes were glazed over. All of the life and colour that was present had disappeared. Jay had been essentially murdered by the individuals. Whether that was their intention or not, the deed had been done, and the consequences were sure to follow. Upon realizing that Jay had passed, Amelia lost control of herself. She bawled like she had never bawled before, screaming in agony at losing the one she loved most. "We were going to be together forever," she said, all distraught, unable to make sense of the situation, unable to get her thoughts back on track, unable to find even a millisecond of clarity. Why? Why you? Why did it have to be you? Why couldn't it have been me? The more time passed, the more Amelia's thoughts were becoming clouded, the more they were becoming unfocused, the more they were becoming shrouded in hatred for what had just happened. She was almost speeding through the 5 stages of grief, but her thoughts had completely halted at only the 2nd stage, anger. Jay was officially pronounced dead later that day. The doctors tried everything they could, but in the end, his injuries were so severe that nothing could have been done in the first place. Upon receiving the news, Amelia was just a blank slate for the next few days, unfeeling and cold, but still burdened with anger, hate, and a newfound desire for bloodlust. 5 days after the misfortune was placed upon Amelia, she had resorted to destroying herself in any way she could in an attempt to help deal with her emotions, but nothing sufficed. Another 2 days later, Amelia resorted to tearing herself apart with her own fingernails, digging deep into her skin to inflict the harshest of wounds and to draw blood in an effort to feel something. Another day passes. By this point, Amelia had clawed off so much of her skin that it was a real wonder how she was alive. She was a bloody mess, like something you'd see in a horror movie. In the places where her skin wasn't torn off, my apologies, there were deep nail marks of just dried blood, some recent enough to still be sleeping slightly. Amelia had completely lost all sense of meaning in her life, so she thought nothing better than to destroy it by destroying herself. But it didn't satisfy her the way she wanted it to. She had to take care of something, someone, some people. Amelia headed downstairs into the kitchen, her face and eyes as lifeless as ever, and she went to get a knife, one that could cut through skin like it was paper. She held the knife aloft and said, "A soul for a soul, multiple souls at that." Her intent was as clear-cut like never before. Her goal was unmistakable, to kill. To kill those who took an angel from this world, and from her. With her goal in mind and a new highly motivated attitude to boast, Amelia set out of her house, with her knife secured safely in a large bag to not seem dubious in any way. She was going out to commit an act of malice, but a doubt and thought process that would once again rectify a normal human being's thought process were not an achievable thing for Amelia at this point. She had ravaged her body and mind, and in the name of love. But was it love? Or was it just insanity? It didn't take long for Amelia to somehow track down this group of individuals. Their presence was easy to notice, unfortunately so for them. Amelia approached the group, not being noticed until she was right beside them. Upon taking a closer look, one of the individuals noticed something off about the girl that stood before them. It didn't take long for it to fully click what was off about the girl, even with a double take. What the hell are you?" one asked, frozen with fear. "Your reckoning," Amelia replied. Without even a second to spare after the fact, Amelia takes out her knife and punctures the skin of the individual that addressed her. In a state of panic and utter dismay, the other two scatter just as Amelia continues to dig the knife deeper into the guy's chest. Watching the state the guy was in deteriorate quickly with every inch she dug it in deeper. She dug it deep, and every time she twisted it slightly. "How does it feel to know you're going to hell?" Amelia asked, with pure, incensed insanity in both her eyes and voice. After enough toying with the one guy, Amelia removes the knife, watching the guy's limp body simply just fall to the ground. "It's you to go," she says, fully aware of what she had just done and what she was about to do. The two guys who had run off ended up splitting up, thinking that was the best solution for the scenario they were in. But like with how it always fails in horror movies, here, it was like fiction and reality had combined. A good 20 minutes passed before Amelia was able to find one of the two remaining guys. This one was just cowering in the corner at the sight of her, and with the knowledge of what she had just done, / was capable of. No mercy for him. "No mercy for any of you," Amelia said, toying with the knife that had the fresh blood of her previous victim on it. "Wait! No, please!" the guy cries out in an attempt to have Amelia reconsider. "It's a fair trade. You take someone else's life, you have to lose your own," Amelia replied, just freaking out the guy she had cornered even more. Amelia lunges for the guy, not giving him even a chance of escaping, and impales him with the knife to his neck. Pulling the knife through his neck with ease, effectively decapitating the guy. The strength needed to do this was a surprise to even Amelia. "I'm capable of this?" she asked herself, in what seems like a moment of clarity. Amelia holds the knife sideways to lick off the blood that was on there, like how one would do with peanut butter from a normal food knife. The taste of blood didn't faze Amelia at all, it just fueled her bloodlust. "Once you've lost everything, you can do anything," she said, getting a sort of adrenaline rush from the taste of the blood. "Want to go?" Amelia was way past the point of negotiability, way past the point that made her sane, way past the point she could be considered a human being. Instead, now, a monster. Her love may have been taken from her, but what she was doing was heinous. These weren't acts of love, these were acts of lunacy and malice. Amelia began her search for the last individual, walking with strides of intensity but unfeeling in her body language, as if she was just a lifeless corpse, much like her victims. It wasn't too long after that she caught the sight of the last guy, now just walking solemnly, with the thought of what happened to his companion, and what could have happened to his other companion haunting his thoughts. The guy looks up to see Amelia standing at the end of the street, underneath a lamppost light. but she wasn't close enough for the guy to properly make her out. All he saw was a creepy silhouette holding a knife, standing in the distance. Upon seeing this, the guy just froze in fear. Literally. No matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't get his body to move. It was like Amelia's presence was controlling him, preventing him from escaping his fate. Amelia walks up to the guy, now quivering and sweating out with pure fear. Why? Why are you doing this? He asked apprehensively. It's what you deserve, for taking him, Amelia responds. For taking who? He asks, obviously unaware of the circumstances. Amelia leans inwards closer to the guy's face, giving him a perfect view of the deranged look in her eyes. My angel, Amelia responds blankly, before driving the knife through the guy's neck and swiftly pulling it through to decapitate him. My apologies. Amelia laughs maniacally upon doing this. All semblance of her humanity was wiped clean by this point, if it somehow wasn't before. Amelia bends down to the poor soul's lifeless corpse. But it was at this point when the reality of everything had finally kicked in. Oh God, I did all of this? She says, rather solemnly. But what would Jay think? Oh God, he's probably looking down on me right now and thinking what a disgusting human being I am, she says, all panicked and distraught. Some semblance of humanity was still present, it seemed. I can't go on with what I've done. This isn't what Jay would have wanted. I'm sorry, Jay. Unable to bear the consequences of what she had done, let alone comprehend what she had done, Amelia takes her knife and slashes her own throat with it, promptly falling to the floor, all leftover colour and life disappearing from her eyes, next to the guy she had just killed. With her bloody knife dropping to the floor in a swift fashion, she laid lifeless, hopes and dreams for the future dashed, originally by what happened almost a week ago, but also by the events of that night. But it didn't matter now. She was dead. Jay, the three individuals, and her, all met their demise, either at the hands of others or themselves. All of this, all of it was caused by her love for Jay, all because he was taken from him. Taken from her. My apologies. Up until that point, it was love, nothing but. But beyond that point, all the things she had done, ravaging herself, ravaging others, it was the ravaged love. The end.